how's it going? This is Tom Burkhardt from Car Revs Daily with the 2018 INFINITI QX30S.
Is QX30 any good? This car was developed primarily to compete with the BMW 1 Series, Mercedes A-Class, and Audi A3 5-door in Europe. But coming over to the USA, it's going to compete with the BMW X1, Audi Q3, and its platform mate, the Mercedes-Benz GLA 250. So very, very excited to go out in this QX30 Sport to show you that this car definitely does belong on American roads and is one of the most fun premium compacts out there. I'm having a ball driving the QX30S this week, and excited to take it out on this handling loop to show what a really just fuck squirrel, really exciting car this is, and how much I really like it, and I'm very, very surprised by its excellence. So let's do it. So structure of this review: what is Q30S? Who are its main competitors again? Which I guess we just covered, but didn't mention the Mini Cooper S 4-door and the Clubman, and even the Countryman could be rivals to this car with all-wheel drive. And then we'll talk about you know, why its performance is so exciting, and lastly we'll close out on pricing and options for this particular Q30S. Alright, so how is it so fun? So when I looked up the stats, I was like 208 horsepower, like whatever. And then you get in the car, and so it's 208 horsepower, 7-speed double clutch automatic transmission, but the big number is 258 pound-feet of torque that arrives from 1200 RPM and stays constant until like 4400 RPM, which is insane. That's like the lowest torque peak I've ever heard. And 1200 RPM is amazing because it just shoots the car off the line so effectively. And this double clutch definitely makes the most of it. I've got the car in sport mode right now. It starts in like economy mode, or sort of like its general default, and it's actually has none of the double clutch hiccups that you might expect. It's super smooth in traffic. It never gets a foot wrong. And then you put it in sport, and you can use these paddles, or you can just rely on its sensors to really make the car fun and ridiculously enthusiastic. It's really fun. Oh my god, I really like it. So the numbers might not be huge on paper, but really the performance is there in real life in a big way. And this car delivers about a 6.3 second sprint to 60 miles an hour in the sport guise. It is a little bit slower with all-wheel drive, but not much slower. So let me get by this gentleman here. So the performance is really just ridiculously good. I think it's probably pretty good for all the QX30s, but this QX30S, or the QX30 Sport as they call it, has a base price that is $38,000, so it's more than the $30,000 base for the general models. And it brings gloss black trims outside, sport seats inside, cross-drilled brakes in front, let's see, and a couple other things, like 19-inch wheels with summer tires and run flats, and a bunch of other goodies that really make this car into a real driver's gem. And I'm as surprised as you are hearing it to be saying it, but it's really true. Like a champ around corners, and even as a front drive vehicle, it really has amazing grip and amazing enthusiasm and handling balance. So that's a good note to make, is that the QX30 is available in standard front wheel drive or in all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive cars in the USA are about 1.6 inches higher than the standard QX30, and this QX30S is 0.6 inch lower than the general QX30. So it rides low and mean, and has like sort of black fender accents and gloss black for, like we said, the grille and the rear fascia, and lots of other styling details are sort of are murdered out for this car. And it looks tremendous. It looks really, really good, and this is easily one of the most interesting designs for a premium compact on the road today, because it has a little bit of SUV flair, but none of the none of the nerdy boxy silhouette in back. I mean, it's just all swooping lines and an intersecting beauty that is quite stunning. Design-wise, there's also some really interesting innovations, like this pinch in the door that sort of flows over the front wheel well is one of the sharpest pinches that's ever been able to make production, and that requires like a new tooling for the plant that this is built in the UK to achieve, and just some really just gorgeous and captivating lines on this car throughout. The QX30S really makes the most of it with sill extensions that are body colored and really just like plant the car and make it look super sporty and cool. So that's awesome. These are all really, really good things, and something that reinforce how sporty it is on the outside with how sporty it is on the inside. So you really get in this car and it's shockingly good. I mean, it's basically like it really feels like a Golf GTI beater from the cabin, and it really is only that in pricing where it gets a little bit more, it gets a little out of the GTI's league. Oh my god! So there's like a dog on the side of the road. Anyway, so it's a lot of great stuff with this car. So how does it justify its extra cost versus like a GTI, which is like 31, 32 with a similar level of equipment? Well, the real thing is the sophistication throughout. I mean, it's a really sophisticated machine in everything it does, and that Mercedes basis really proves true. There's a lot of like interesting parts sharing going on in this car. So like from here down is Mercedes, but from here up is Infiniti. So you've got like Infiniti steering wheel and Infiniti display or Infiniti nav system, but Mercedes display and gauges, and then Mercedes controls for the seats and gear lever and things like that. And the combination really just creates a supremely premium experience. It's hard to convey why it feels so premium, but it's just really luxurious and posh.
Yo, truck coming.
So the options on this particular car definitely help that fact, which we'll touch on shortly. This car does have $5,000 in options, which takes our pricing to about 42. So that is a lot more than 37 and a lot more than 30, but is comparable with a loaded up Audi Q3 and a little below a loaded BMW X1. So it's definitely class competitive, but the way it justifies its pricing premium over GTI and cars like that is really just the design and the feel and the overall quality impression inside, which is resoundingly good. I love the swoopiness of the dashboard. I really love this black Alcantara headliner, which is part of an option package, but generally just really like the car in general. There is some weird stuff, like there's some quirky things that you gotta get used to. Like it still needs a key in the ignition to start it, for example, which is a little bit unusual because it does have proximity locks outside, and you know, you got heated seats in here and parking sensors and adaptive cruise control and lots of other good stuff, but there's no electronic parking brake that I can see, and there's no way to turn the traction control off. There's just some Mercedes quirks that are a little bit out of character for the Infiniti range, but are definitely welcome. And this car, as one of Mercedes' first mass market front-wheel drive platforms that they engineered in maybe ever, but definitely in decades, they worked super hard to make this car have traditional Mercedes traits, which means it brakes hard, it corners well, it does awesome on the highway in terms of its balance and ease of character and directional tracking. I mean, it really has, like, this grip around the corner is crazy. Really, really strong performance credentials for this car that you might not be expecting. So that is enough to make me love it. I really am surprised at how fun it is to drive and how enjoyable it really is around this twisty road. And it's kind of earning its price. It's earning its keep in my mind right now, which is good because it is a little pricey. So the QX30 with front wheel drive and like not very much equipment starts from about $29,500 and with like $30,500 with delivery charge. Got shift pedals here. But then with a luxury or all-wheel drive equipment packages, it definitely goes up from there. So this QX30 Sport is only available in front-wheel drive, as we said, and starts from about $37,500. And on top of that, we have like an LED package. The navigation is included at no charge. The LED package, I think $1,500 or $1,000. Sport seating package for $1,500. Safety tech package for another $1,000 or $1,500. That includes like that adaptive cruise and lots of other good stuff. And then the last thing is a $450 illuminated sill plates. That seems kind of silly, but it's nice to have. And that takes our total to about $42,000 as tested. So who is this car for? Well, it's for people who live, you know, in a pretty tight area with parking constraints, or people who want really good mileage but don't want to sacrifice the premium drive character and the premium cabin experience that comes with in luxury cars. Also for people who don't need a ton of space. The back seat of this car is pretty tight, the trunk is pretty tight, but overall the front seat is very comfortable and plenty roomy and enjoyable. Definitely a fun car and one that I really like. I think the QX30S is like the sleeper hit of the Infiniti range because it's so different and so cool and so new, and that's one of its big USPs on the road too, is that it is unlike anything else out there. So we'll see you guys next time. This has been Tom Burkhart with Car Revs Daily in the 2018 Infiniti QX30S.